What is taking you so long?
I've been looking in the mirror, Stuart, and I'm starting to look old and I'm putting weight on. I need some words of encouragement.
Well, at least your eyesight's okay.
Stuart and Andy. VanLife, the universe, and everything.
I'm back in the van, just doing some final cleaning. Hopefully, I've got somebody coming to have a look at it this week. So, and there was just a few things left to get done, like the oven. So yeah, I've been down. A bit sad though. I've been through the dog cupboard as well, and it's like, what have I found? Soda's lead, and it's like, yeah, I've had tears. It's absolutely minging. It really is. So I don't know what to do with it. I don't know whether to keep it as it is to remind me of, you know, what she got up to, or is it just another reminder? And then we come to the problem, don't we? How much extra weight have we been carrying around on our travels? I know it's the same in a house, isn't it? You just collect and collect and collect. But you'd think that there'd be limited space in a van. But have a look at this. This is the rubbish that we're throwing away that we could have done without travelling around. I mean, how much extra fuel have we used because of this? More importantly, I'm guessing that we've been overweight, and I'm guessing driving illegally, because I mean this is a lot of weight. We've took loads of stuff out the van. I mean, bags and bags and bags of stuff, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bags of rubbish. Wow. So a little bit of advice to people: have a look, see what you're carrying around that you don't need, and get rid of it, because you're going to be paying more for diesel because it's more weight to carry, but you could also be overweight for legal reasons. So yeah, check it out and see what you can get rid of.
Why is it always you?
I'm so embarrassed, Stuart. So embarrassed.
Why?
Why? Because I've just come from the van, and the first person I see is this rugby type with the little black shorts on within his wheelbarrow, right? And then as I'm walking round past the units, it's these 3 mechanic lads having a bit of a giggle, and I'm like, oh my god! And then I've realised why, haven't I? I've got my cat bag and my flow bag. I mean, it doesn't look very manly, does it? No. We need to talk about being overweight. So I'm going to dump these, get a coffee, and then we'll have a chat about being overweight.
You're not that big. Is that not what you meant?
No.
All right, okay. I wondered why you said to me, Stuart, grab the camera. Look at him. He looks like a proper little chav.
Yeah, I didn't mix in with the chavs at the mechanics though today.
And then he's got like the 2 girliest bags that I don't even know where that one's come from. That one I know where that one's from.
So I just had to walk through Willington with these 2 bags.
Well guys, that has pretty much been what we've done this week. It's pretty much been van related, hasn't it, to be honest?
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to get it ready to sell the thing, so we hadn't quite finished cleaning and tidying and stuff. So that's where all these bags of rubbish have come from. We just kind of took everything out that we wanted, that we needed, because we hired a car and just bought everything up, and we just left everything else, and there's like just tons of it.
I think the problem is a lot of it is stuff that you think you need while you're in van, and then when you actually come out of it, you sit there and you go, why did I ever say I needed that? Why would I need that? Why would I need? And there's just so much stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like crap. It's just stuff that we've like kind of like kept over the last 2 years that we just didn't need.
Yeah.
Silly stuff we'd bought that we just didn't need to buy, and yeah. So we've had a bit of a clean out. We were quite surprised at how much rubbish there was, but we're also quite surprised of how overweight we must have been.
Yeah, that's the worrying thing, isn't it? So I did a little bit of research on this. I'm not going to bore people too much with this because we've touched on it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know DVSA can stop you at the side of the road. So they have these little, where they pull lorries and things in, they can pull motorhomes in as well. And I was reading the other day that somebody had been pulled in and they were overweight and they had to unload stuff before DVSA would let them go. So it's quite serious.
It's one of them things you never really hear about. You do when you're abroad. I know people are very, very conscious of when they go abroad about their weightage and their max and stuff. But in the UK, you never really hear about anybody being pulled over or anybody getting fined. So if you've had one, let us know, because I'm kind of like,
Well, apparently DVSA, I mean, they pulled motorhomes over. 80% of motorhomes that they pulled over were overweight.
Because you just don't think, do you?
No.
You're never conscious of, like we've said it quite a few times in a couple of our vlogs, we've gone past a weighing place and you've been like, oh, come on, we'll weigh ourselves. But you never consciously do it. You never actually say, right, okay, before we go on our travels, let's go and weigh the van.
Yeah.
You kind of just, just do it.
You know, you put we've got 500 kilos of laden weight that we can put in, into Avandra. Now, that sounds like that's half a tonne. That doesn't sound like you're going to ever get to that. But when you consider that your fresh water tank is 100 litres, that's 100 kilos to start with. That's a fifth of your weight gone.
Not just that, there's other things, isn't there? There's things like your wastewater, because if you haven't emptied that, then you've also got your bathroom if you haven't emptied that.
Yeah.
Your shopping, because your shopping must weigh quite a bit. By the time all the bottles of water and things we had in the van.
You know, you buy a bag of sugar, it's 2 kilos. A tin of beans is half a kilo. You know, you start adding these things up. I got 5 jars of pickled onions. I didn't need that many. So yeah, it's just having things in your van that you don't really need all the time.
Then there's the essential things that you do need, like things like your clothes, your bedding, because our mattress. Yeah. How much must that mattress?
Yeah, the mattress was heavy.
We were like well overweight. If we ever got pulled over, we would have been fine.
We would have been well overweight. But there are fines for this. So it's a scale starting at £100 going up to £300, and they can immobilise you. They can stop you from moving on until you're at the correct weight. The other important thing is that your insurance can be invalidated.
Yeah, I didn't realise that either. I didn't realise your insurance only covers you for the actual weight that you are actually allowed to have in the vehicle.
Yeah.
But then there was other things I didn't even realise. Things like your spare tyre. We have a spare tyre just like chucked up on the the top.
How much is that weighing?
A ton.
Yeah, I mean it's so much, isn't it? Then there's other things like if you're in the AA, they will only carry up to 3.5 tons. So if you're overweight and you break down, you've got no chance.
Which would have been us again.
Which would have been us. And then there's little things like there's excess wear on your tyres, on your suspension, and of course if you're overweight, your stopping distances are going to be a lot greater.
Right, okay, we get the gist. We're overweight.
So and it didn't really. I mean, we talked about it briefly when we were on our travels, and then just emptying the van today. It just brought it back home. So just see what you've got in your van that you don't need, and just there are weigh bridges you can go to.
Maybe put your van on a diet.
Yes.
That's probably the best way.
Absolutely.
So that was the gist of pretty much what we did this week. We did actually get out and about. We did actually go and do a bit of exploring and a bit of shopping, because I like to do my shopping. So we went to the car boot sale on Sunday, didn't we? It started back up over Easter.
Yeah.
I got a bargain. So where we were here, it's the Easter weekend, so it's the first time that the car boot sale's back on. So we thought we'll have a wander down. Jess and James came with us. So we found a few things, and I got a BB-8 clock, which I'm just in love with, and I found a BB-8 t-shirt, 50p. Well happy.
Yeah, I've got a couple of books as well, so worthwhile having a look.
It was. It's just a nice day out on a Sunday. The sun's come out. I'm a bit sweating now.
I know when we came out, it was absolutely freezing, and I put my big coat on, and now I'm sweating. But it's nice to see people out and about on Easter Sunday morning. Car boot.
Yeah. So happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Wellington car boot.
And I decided to buy a few bits. Literally, the first stall after you get in there was a BB-8 alarm clock. So of course I had to buy it. So that's sat at the side of my bed. And then I found, you ready? It's still in the bag. Needs to go in the wash, to be honest, because I'm a bit iffy about clothing. But look! A BB-8 t-shirt! How cool is that? So you will be seeing this in a future video because it's my size. It's perfect. It's one mark on it down here somewhere. I spotted it when I bought it. It was 50p. 50p. It's come from a smoker's house because I can smell smoke. But yeah, there's one mark there.
Yeah.
But that'll come straight out in the wash.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been worn, to be honest with you.
No?
No.
Yeah.
So that was my two bargains.
We bought a few things, didn't we? I was surprised. I mean, you go to car boots and sometimes it's just tat. I mean, there was quite a bit of tat. But yeah, we bought a few things. So
But you know what they say? One man's rubbish is another man's treasure.
Exactly.
Somebody would have looked at that BB-8 and thought, what absolute tat, and then I come along and...
You just never know what you're going to find, do you?
No,
I'm hoping that one day that we'll go onto a car boot and there'll be a reel of film and it'll say Doctor Who,
yeah.
the 10th Planet, Episode 4, and they'll say, yeah, just a fiver, mate. And I'll go, oh, yeah, lovely.
It's never going to happen.
I know it's never going to happen. I know.
But yeah, so we managed to get out. It was actually a really nice day as well, wasn't it, on Sunday? The weather was lovely.
Yeah.
We got some cake. He bought a couple of books. So yeah, we didn't spend overly...
No, it was reasonable money, wasn't it? It wasn't expensive.
Oh, no.
It
50p for that,
Yeah.
and £1 for the books.
Couple of books.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were going to go into Durham, weren't we, last Thursday, on Monday, Thursday?
We were. So if anybody hasn't seen, the King actually came, the King and the Queen. Is it the Queen or the Queen Consort? Oh, no,
Queen
it's the
Consort.
Queen.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure.
Neither am I.
Yeah, Queen.
But yeah, they both came to Durham, to the cathedral. And it's been kind of the talk of the northeast for the last week and a half. That's all we've heard about. And then we had a friend, Michelle, and her husband went, and her husband's dad got a coin and this, that, and the other. Yeah, all the locals could only just see the car.
Yeah.
They couldn't get anywhere near to be able to see him.
Yeah. As it happened, we were busy, weren't we? Because we were doing last week's vlog. And then we got a quiz on the night time, so we didn't make it in. And I'm a little bit. I'm glad that we didn't, because we'd have been sat there for a couple of hours waiting for them to come along just to see a black car go past.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The problem is Durham Cathedral, the way where it's placed, is quite a tight spot. So there isn't much of an area that people can stand at, and of course they've got to make it secure for them. So they'd literally only had a few people around the outside, and these people that were around the outside were people that they'd chosen.
Yeah.
So you literally couldn't get anywhere near to where the actual King and Queen were. It wasn't like Pickering with my mum actually saw him, and he actually walked up to me in a Pickering.
Oh really?
Yeah.
When was this?
Have you not seen it? My mum's got a clip on her Facebook of when she met the King.
Oh, lovely.
He came over and shook her hand, and
Oh, really? I've not seen this.
yeah, I'll find it. We'll put it in
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
God save the King.
So yeah, so that was when my mum met the King. So my mum actually got to meet him, but this was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't. I
Yeah,
don't think it'd have been worth it.
No, I think it was just a in and out and give you 76 coins and that was it.
But even these coins, you give them to the people in the cathedral.
Yes.
Like it wasn't outside.
Yes, it
like
was more.
I thought it was going to be like. Do you remember back in the day when wedding? It used to be a tradition at wedding. You would throw coins out
Yeah.
wherever you to the neighbouring kids or whatever, wherever you were. I thought that would be the sort of thing you'd be doing. You'd be doing it in public so people could see him going around and giving out these magical coins to random people in just normal people. But no, these have been selected.
Yeah.
Very officially done kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so that was just another thing that happened in Durham that we missed.
Yeah, that we missed.
It seems to be our routine. If you're new to the channel and you've never actually seen, me and Andrew have a bit of
A knack of
missing things.
Yeah.
Or not realising something major is happening
Yeah.
when we're in an area.
Sometimes we're just in our own little world, aren't we?
We are. Well, we were in Wales and it was the biggest festival in Wales, literally round the corner. We parked in a lay-by, not even 10 minutes away from the entrance to this huge festival.
Yeah, we did.
The Festival of Wales, and we didn't even know what was happening.
Well, that brings us nicely onto, you were just reminiscing there about Wales. Do you know where we were this day a year ago?
Actually, I do, but for a wrong reason. This is only because it came up on Facebook of a photograph of your dad in the motorhome saying our first time away. So I'm going to say we're in Wales, and I'm going to say it's going to be the hill, isn't it?
Well, actually, a year ago, we were just getting into John O'Groats. You're thinking 2 years ago. but we'll come back to that. A year ago, we were coming into John O'Groats. We got to John O'Groats after 5 weeks of travelling from Land's End.
To John O'Groats.
We got to John O'Groats on this day a year ago, and you're absolutely right. 2 years ago, we went down the second steepest hill in Wales to get to Prestatyn.
Yeah, and we've actually found out apparently we aren't the only ones who have done it. Apparently Google Maps has a bit of a habit of taking people down this hill. Please, if you are using Google Maps and going to Haven of Prestatyn, do not go down that hill unless you know your brakes and your handbrakes and your tyres and you know the actual motorhome.
Yeah,
not the first week you go away.
No, that was the first week we went away.
It went away.
It was the Saturday, wasn't it? Because we picked my mum and dad up.
Yeah.
And you said, oh look, Google's taken us this way. It's not the easiest way to get into Prestatyn. Trust me, it's not. And then it turned. We didn't know, did we?
We didn't until there was all of a sudden. Do you know when you hit the top of an area and then all of a sudden you can see for miles, and I'm not lying, you could literally see for miles, and then you see the sign. It's always one sign, and the instant you see that sign you think there's going to be a hill, when it says viewing point.
We've got to know that, haven't we, on our travels, particularly in Scotland. If you see viewing point on a map, avoid it, because it's high up somewhere.
If it's a viewing point, you know you're either going to go down a massive hill or you're going to come up a massive hill. So we saw a viewing point and we debated pulling over and we're like, no, we'll get there. And then all of a sudden it was like, I can't even remember what the incline, something like a 23% decline, sorry. It was like,
Yeah.
Never drove down a hill before, never tested a brake.
33%, wasn't it?
Was that what it was? 33?
33%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We would never have gone up it, but yeah, we went down it. So yeah, you can watch either of those videos. I've put them here at the top here from last year and 2 years ago.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the John O'Groats video, it's actually really, really good. We did do it a bit of a detour-y, kind of like viewy kind of way, but it was a brilliant, brilliant, enjoyable trip. And we bought something new. So we've decided we're going to be Bill and Ben. That's where we're going with the flower pot men. So we're Bill and Ben. Let's take you out to the garden.
So we've just bought this lovely little greenhouse, didn't we, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm dead impressed. It says it's so easy to put up. It really is that easy. There's no instructions. How cool is that?
Oh god, this is going to be fun. They're on the other side. Cheat.
This has got to be the easiest thing we've ever built. It's literally taken 3 minutes to put this thing together. And I think this is an absolute bargain today. 10 quid for this. And it's sturdy. It's got your plastic. It's thick plastic as well. 4 shelves. This is going to be great.
It is, it's perfect for the little yard. Got a bit of weed you need to do behind you, like. You've got a bit of dock leaf ground there. They need weed now.
It's a bit of, what do they call it? Wildflowers.
Is that what you call them, is it?
They're
Okay.
just wildflowers, yeah.
So all of our seedlings can go in there, can't it? In the sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think absolute bargain. £9.99 today instead of £15. And then, as we saw in Lidl, the £20.
And then they were 25 in boys.
Yeah.
They were 30 in B&Q. Yeah. Bargain. So yeah, they've got all their gardening stuff reduced. We just don't have a garden. Just a backyard.
We're making the most of what we've got.
Yes. Oh, Andrew, show them the cans.
Yeah, so we saw last week Stuart had done some raffia type thing on the cans, and we hadn't filled them, and so they're on the shelf, weren't they, ready to go to fill them. So we filled them. We'll show you them in just a second. But then I remembered I got some spray paint in the van, so I bought that up, and we've got some more cans. And Stuart's done a right job.
Right, okay, so this is actually really annoying. So that's them. Look how nice and pretty they look. They look really nice. So I spray painted them. They were on they were on the shelf. I'd sprayed them all, made them all this lovely colour, because that was the colour that we had for Avandra when we tried to redo the stripes and it didn't work. Andrew ordered 2 cans, so we ended up with an extra can. And then my little brother decided to come downstairs, and he just said to me, he was like, "Why is there loads of Heinz cans on the step?" And I'm like, "No, they now look like these should be baked beans." So yeah, look. So yeah, so I've spray painted them, and now apparently they all look like they should be Heinz cans. This is the update. Do the update first of all, you amazing plants. Look how they look at it. So don't worry about the orangey bits.
Stuart decided he was going to try the juicer, but he didn't peel the oranges, so everything went in. It was fantastic. It was terrible. So these are the first set of radishes. Is it Monday or Tuesday? I need to do some more today. So this is the first set we did 2 weeks ago, so they're well on the way. These are the ones we put in last Monday, so they've all come through now. So that's looking good. I need to get that watered today. The beetroots that we did, yeah, they're not doing too well. There's only a couple. Oh, that might be a little thing. Looks like
Have you put a bit of an onion?
That looks like an onion. Because the spring onions are coming through, which is looking nice. I'm not sure what all those are. I think some of the seeds out of the bird feeder have dropped in, so we might be getting some random stuff growing in here.
But I'm more excited about what's inside, to be honest, because me flowers are coming through.
So these are your tins that you did last week.
Yeah, they're hideous.
And we've got some growth coming through.
Look, I've got flowers growing.
Yeah. So there's something coming through there. There's a few seeds in these. So
The yellow one,
we might get those
Andrew,
out into
the yellow one.
The yellow one, has that got something coming
It
through?
has a big one coming through, look.
Oh, that has got a big one coming through.
And the one right next to it.
Yeah. So that's we've got some life there.
Yeah, but how are your ordinary seeds looking?
Now,
is there any movement at all?
We put peppers, we put tomatoes, and we put strawberries in these. I think they're a bit dry.
Do they want water in
No
them?
sign of life in it.
How's your pepper seeds coming along though? Because that's the major thing, isn't it, that you're super excited about?
This has been a labour of love, hasn't it?
It has, your pepper
we've been on-
seeds.
This is about 3 weeks now since we started these. So we've got this damp towel. But look! We've got life!
Yeah, so they're all coming away. That one's even getting a leaf, look.
Yeah.
So we're going to leave them for a little bit longer and then we
Yeah.
are going to plant them, aren't we?
We are indeed. So, yeah, that's taken some perseverance to get to that stage. That's
It has,
literally
yes.
3 weeks since we put these on, and they're just starting to come through.
So you can see, look at this one. Look how cute that looks with all of its little seeds going through. I think I'm going to spray paint these cans to match the other ones. But they were actually from Boys, weren't they? And they were a bargain. So let me just show you what they are. We bought 3 different types and we put all the seeds together because we bought one which was a trailing, one which was a basket, and which one are you? This one's a balcony. And they're all rainbow mixes, loads of different flowers and whatever else in them. So we just popped them all in there and then just sprinkled on top of here. So now all these different flowers that'll come through are all different types of flowers that'll all do different things. So we're hoping there'll be a trailing one to hang down and then there'll be a nice flowering one, and yeah, just something a bit different. And they're only 99p. So it costs us £3. And the amount of seeds that are left, we should get all these pots done. And even if we only get 1 flower in each pot, that's a bargain for £3 for 3 packs. Yeah, please sell down to Boys for some of them. And I think that is the update from Bill and Ben, the flower pot men. And it's come to that time of the week. And it is that time of the week that we do the forest update. So if you haven't seen this week, ooh, did you see that temper tantrum there? Because he didn't get to talk about his favourite subject. Yeah, so yesterday was what? Go on.
Oh my goodness, how we would. Well, I was on edge last night. Stuart was just up and down and out of the way because it was so tense at the end. Forest managed to beat Tottenham last night against the odds, I guess, but it means that they're back in 3rd place. Newcastle lost, so my table prediction has changed a little bit. I've still got Forest finishing in the top 5, which is more than Alan Shearer thinks we're going to do. So yeah, this is my table prediction for now. Let's see how it pans out. FA Cup semi-final on Sunday afternoon. Ooh, who's going to be the winner? I don't know. Just before we go, just a couple of Van things related. One, I saw this picture on a Facebook group, and after the initial, oh my God, what have you done? It was like, how do you actually get out of that?
It's one of them things where it was something we would do if we had big enough ramps. Their ramp is bigger than what ours is, so we were alright, we wouldn't be able to do it. But I think if you were to let some of the air out of the tyres, it would make it less stuckage. And then maybe dig it out underneath.
Yeah. How would you get out of that one? And I also saw, and I actually felt sorry for this person, but they've gone to the Isle of Wight, blown a tyre, bank holiday weekend, blown a tyre, nobody is going to come out to them, AA wouldn't come out, and they haven't got a spare wheel. Oh. Go.
Right, okay, but you say that, right? In all seriousness, somebody answered my question because I kind of was a little bit iffy about this. We have a spare wheel, yeah. We would never be able to fit it.
No,
How would you be able to lift a
No,
3.5 ton?
we've got a jack, but I wouldn't be confident in doing that myself. And we have got the spare tyre. It's got a brand new tyre on it as well.
Yeah, but we haven't got the gear to be able to lift it like that. Acorn, they have a big massive thing.
So there's a whole big argument about the AA wouldn't come out and replace it because they hadn't got a spare wheel. But don't they? I thought they carried like
certain tyres,
emergency,
only certain like common types of tyres.
Yeah,
because we had it. If you remember with the Audi, they didn't have a spare tyre, so they couldn't do it.
Okay.
So if it's a specialist tyre, or if it's something that's very unique, so if it's like a Ford Focus, they probably have that. Or if it's a certain type of tyre that's very common with a lot of vehicles, then they carry it.
Right, okay.
But I'm guessing a motorhome is a very specific.
It's going to be. Well, we know we are tyres
because of how, especially the pressure.
Yeah. So anyway, the moral of the story is if you're going out bank holiday weekends, make sure that you're prepared.
Yeah. So that is us for this week. I'm like happy at the fact that we've got some sunshine. I have found a new book series because I finished my book, and it just feels like summer's here. It's happening. We're getting some hot air. It feels nice. We're getting out and about. Easter was lovely. Yeah. So just get out there, have an adventure, and don't forget, if you have enjoyed today's video, to hit that subscribe button if you are not already part of our amazing family. And don't forget to leave a comment. Hit that like button. And Andrew, what do we do with the bell?
You ring the bell, and you do this to me every week, and I can never remember what it is. It's ring the bell and
select all notifications.
That's the one. I should know by now.
It's so funny every single
He
week.
does it to me every week.
And you'd think by now we would be used to saying it. No.
We're gonna have an outtake reel of just me going, "Oh, Stuart, why did you do that to me?"
Yes. So thank you guys. We will see you on Thursday.